Hi there, welcome to the next episode of Besties in a Box. My name is Kenna Smith and I'll be your host for today, and I'm so glad that you could join us. Today we're going to be meeting with my bestie, Angie. Angie and I met probably a couple of years ago at her store. Angie is a lovely woman and I'm so glad that you're going to get to meet her today. We have shared a lot of laughter together, a lot of tears together, probably a bottle of wine or two and some chocolate. So what more could you ask for in a best friend? Angie is someone that joins people together. She has this amazing gift to make you feel heard and to make you feel loved. And she has always been someone that connects people and helps them create bonds that last forever. She is a real light in her community. She's a light amongst all of her friends. And she gives the best hugs ever. So I'm really glad that you get to meet Angie today, and she'll be joining us in just a moment. I want to remind you to make sure that you like the page, that you subscribe to my channel. It's Psychic Kenna at YouTube. And we look forward to lots more episodes of Besties in a Box. So if you're ready, we're going to get going and invite Angie to join us now. Hi, and welcome to Besties in a Box. I'm here with Angie. Say hi, Angie. Yay! As you can see, Angie has tons of energy. I'm so excited to be here with my bestie, Angie, today. We're going to jump right into our interview today. And so one of the things I want to talk about right off the bat with Angie is Angie just got back from an amazing holiday. I mean, just got back, but a little while ago. And I want to ask you a little bit about that. So one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, first of all, can you tell us where you went?
We went to Ireland, my husband and I.
Yeah, and why Ireland, Angie?
Well, actually, people were surprised that it was me that prompted to go to Ireland, and because I love castles, I've loved castles for my entire life, and I felt like in my soul or wherever on my being that I needed to go find this castle, and I needed to get to Ireland. So we've been trying to go for the last 4 years while we owned the store and just didn't ever manage to get it organized. And so when I semi-retired in January, I said to my husband, okay, we need to go take our first trip without children. And he was like, boom, okay, I'm going to plan it. So planned it. And so I went to Ireland looking for that castle.
And did you find it?
No.
You didn't?
No. What I found was we saw lots of castles and they're gorgeous and I loved them all and that. What happened is we saw a castle and then we decided to take a walk down the road and then we found a church. It looked like a castle.
Okay.
And it was called, what was it called? Oh, I can't even remember the name of it now, but it was very about me. And I walked into this church and I got very emotional and I sat down on the bench. And I know that this might seem far out for some people, but I was not me anymore.
Oh, interesting. Come on, keep going. We want to know. Who were you?
I was, and you know what was really interesting? There was a guy sitting on the bench behind me, and everybody else was just walking around. And I recognized the marble, the support systems, I guess what you call it, was all marble. And I recognized the candles that were there. And I felt like I went to sleep. And then I woke up and I was in, it looked almost like a burlap sack or something. And I just sat there and I felt it was a surreal experience.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Like pieces of my soul all knit together and that I was complete.
Wow.
I got goosebumps telling my story.
So you were meant to, that's why you went. That
Yeah.
was like a full circle kind of moment for you.
Oh, yes. I've been having dreams. I've been having dreams about this castle, which is a castle in my mind, but I'm a little girl in my dream.
Yeah.
So this church looks like a castle, and that's why as an adult, I assumed it was a castle. And it definitely looked like a castle, but it was a church.
Do you know, as a hypnotherapist and a psychic medium, obviously, oftentimes the mind will interpret things. Our conscious mind will take what our subconscious mind shows us and try and interpret it into things that make sense to us.
Yeah.
And we can kind of miss the mark sometimes, but our soul knows the truth. And so you had a soul moment where
Oh,
your conscious mind thinking castle, da 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 da, actually kind of connected with your soul, and it all came together and made sense to you.
yes.
That's powerful.
It was wonderful. And you know, when we were flying down going into Ireland, I started to cry. I was
Yeah.
going home.
Yeah.
I
Felt
knew
like
I
you were
was
going
going
home.
home. So I've been there obviously at some point in time before. And
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of people that, you know, that I do talk to that like there's no such thing as reincarnation. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I have had enough dreams in my lifetime that I've been different people
Mm-hmm.
and had different experiences. And there's a lot of things, of course, that I've experienced that don't make sense to,
Yeah.
you know, this mind. But
Mm-hmm.
if you, when I allow it to flow, then those experiences that come in through my dreams actually almost feels like, and I use the word knitting, almost knits a piece of me together that was maybe apart, or that maybe made me feel that that things weren't going the way they were supposed to go, but they are going the way they're supposed to go if I allow it to flow.
I love that analogy of knitting, because it really is like, it's like a stitch, right? And then if you skip a stitch, there's like a hole
Yes.
and something's missing.
There's like that thing, a stitch in time. Right?
Yeah. Is that a movie? I feel like that's
I
a
don't know.
movie that was just made. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm having a moment. That's really beautiful. I love that. Yeah, and again, like with what I do, I often have done past life regressions with people through my hypnotherapy practice.
I know. I was supposed to have one before you moved.
I know, right? We'll still do that, I promise. We'll do that one of these days.
We could do it like
But
this.
although you may not need that now, it sounds like you've kind of had your moment where everything connected. But
Oh no, there's always stuff going on. There's always something that I think I was a bad girl in many lifetimes because
I think you're still a bad girl.
no, I'm a really good, well-behaved girl.
Come on, I thought we were supposed to be honest during these interviews.
Oh right. Oh okay. Okay. So what am I?
I love it. Well, that sounds like just a really amazing trip. I'm
It
so
was.
glad that you had an opportunity to do that. So, being able to take a big trip like that and to be able to just kind of relax, there's a reason why you were able to do that. Can we go there?
Because I semi-retired.
Yes. Yeah. So,
I recommend that to anybody.
yeah. So my dear friend Angie was a business owner, an entrepreneur. She is an entrepreneur. You don't ever retire from being an entrepreneur. Can I just say that?
Yeah,
As an
no,
entrepreneur myself, and knowing most of my besties are entrepreneurs in some way or another, you never retire from being an entrepreneur. That is who you are.
that's part
And
of your character.
it's
Yeah.
part of your character. I think that a lot of women that are strong women and have a strong sense of who they are, they often feel the desire to share that with others, and it comes out in the way of creating something. They're creative beings,
Yeah.
right? And so Angie's a creative being,
Oh,
and
I'm
that,
creative, all right.
oh yeah. And so she owned a wonderful store, and through a process that I'll let you explain, she decided to retire from running that store. And so that, of course, afforded her the opportunity to be able to travel. But I would love if you would talk a little bit about that process of coming to the realization that you needed to retire from that, and why you needed to retire from that around your relationship, around your own personal health and wellness. And if you want to talk a little bit about that, I think that it would really help a lot of our viewers that maybe are struggling with self-care and knowing when it's time to walk away and make changes in their life. So I'll let you go.
Okay. So I believe in everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
And I have a lot of beliefs about this is, I'm not running myself. There's another plan that is helping me. So when we moved to Parksville, we'd lived in the north end of the island for over 30 years. I kept everything packed because I was going to move back to Port Hardy. And so the universe stepped in, and actually houses weren't really selling that much. And what was it? We were here the weekend of July, the first weekend in July, and we got an offer like 10 days later on our house. So that stopped me from moving back to Port Hardy. So I thought, oh, well, I guess I must. And she was in, the new owner was in by August 1st or something, right? So that was
Wow.
the universe going, oh, honey, you are on a different path now. Time to move you forward. So then I did the first 5 months here, and we went out for dinner with some friends of ours, and she said, look, the store's for sale. And I'm like, I'm not buying a store or whatever. But we looked at the store January 5th, and February 19th, I had the keys. Nothing in my life has ever gone that fast. That part was meant to be. I was meant to purchase that store, and I was meant to take all those lessons and to meet all fabulous people, you know, readers like yourself and stuff. And my new support group, or my new group of women, or my new group of whatever it was,
Your
because
tribe.
yeah, my tribe, that's a good way to explain it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't making any friends here, right? But I mean, I'd give myself 5 months. I'm a bit of a okay, I'm doing all the work, so why isn't it happening? So I had to step back. So I did. I learned lots from the store, realized I'm not good as the chick in charge when it comes to managing other people. I'm a bit harsh with that. I don't like to motivate people. If I hire you to do a job, you do it, right? So I miss that part in my whatever learning part. But as a person who is available to listen to people's stories, I'm very sympathetic. So and I tend to put too much in my life, and I realize that. I don't know, I guess I came to that realization in August before I actually closed the store in December. I was working 7 days a week, and I didn't feel unhappy, but my body felt unhappy. So there's a difference, right? I loved my store. I loved going there, but my body was I'd just taken a course. Yeah, imagine I'm working 7 days a week and I still took a course. So that
I can imagine.
and it was all about intuition and your body. So I started doing some of the exercises they were showing me, and I incorporated as part of my meditation, because I'm a great meditator, because I carry a lot of anxiousness, and I release it while I'm meditating. When I started listening to my body, I actually thought maybe I was going a little crazy, because inside my body, parts of me, my liver was talking to me, and then my heart said, you know, that's not working for me anymore. You know, when you just take a deep breath and release and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, well, we'll put it up for sale. So we tried to sell it. It didn't sell, which is fine, because I was honest with everybody who came in and looked at that store. I said, this is a lot of work. You should have a partner. You know, my husband was my silent partner, but he's not comfortable working in the store. He was the fix-it guy. And so by December 31st, so January 1st, I was officially closed, and I got sick, and I spent a couple of weeks in bed because my body went, oh, good, she listened to us. And after that, and people still say, do you miss the store? And I miss pieces of it, but I don't miss the store. I didn't realize what freedom felt like. And I really work hard to make sure. So after I closed the store and stuff, then I'm a list maker. So I started doing my lists of what I wanted to accomplish. And so I took out 125 books from the library for fun books. I've read lots of stuff on everything associated with metaphysical. I took 125 books, and I read 125 books in the month of January.
Go big or go home.
Drank tea and read books. And I haven't read a book since of that caliber. Yeah, it's all or nothing with me, right?
I get it. I get it. People,
it's like whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah.
It was the best decision, because, and you know what, Kenna, if I hadn't have listened to my body, I don't know what I would be like, because I saw my doctor in December, and she said, oh, come back and see me after you've closed the store, and give yourself a few months, and then come back and see me, and we'll check, because my blood pressure was high, my blood sugar levels were high. There was nothing that was really, really, but I'd already listened. I already knew all that stuff was going on, right? And then I saw her in May, and she's like, wow. I am so glad you did that, because all honesty, if I hadn't listened, I don't know what capacity I would be here today if I was still running that store.
Isn't it amazing how at a cellular level, our bodies are so tuned in to what we need? And at this level, we are so disconnected from
Yes.
what we need.
Yes.
And to be able to get to a place where this and this reconnect is such a challenge. Like I always say to people that the farthest distance I've ever traveled is from here to here. That's the farthest distance I've ever traveled, is when I get from my brain to my body. And I don't know why that has to be such a distance. But mentally, I have such a hard time getting to where I connect to what I need. And so good for you for being able to see that. I mean, it might have taken you a little longer than it should have, but you got there, and
Yeah.
look at you now. Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
But my meditation has been the thing that's kept me somewhat sane since my
Hmm.
20s, right? So
Yeah.
meditation in association with yoga, those
How
two.
do you meditate? What does that look like for you? Like, what do you do when you say you meditate? Because a lot of people hear that word
Yeah.
and they don't really know what that means or how people do that. Everybody seems to have a thing. What's your thing? How do you meditate?
I have a bunch of different things. So there's a great online music thing with 732 hertz and stuff that if I am feeling, because nobody's perfect and sometimes things make me very, very anxious. I don't know where they're coming from because
Mhm.
I'm completely in a good space in my life. But
Yep.
sometimes I've been out to the grocery store and I come back and I'm like, oh, and I'll think about maybe
Energy.
something somebody said. So I go on and I play this music stuff and I do it for a minimum of 20 minutes and then I seem to have released whatever and I'm fine. But morning starts with, of course, being grateful that I woke up
Hmm.
and not in pain because, a
Yeah.
lot of people are in pain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's part of my clearing away. And I also, so visually, I go into my brain and think, so what's left over that I've carried through from yesterday and today, write it in my book. It could be something I need to take care of, something I need to work on that I thought I said something to someone and I
Hmm.
think that they're mad at me about it or they're concerned, or you know what I mean? It's
Yeah. Yeah,
all
I do.
about perception.
Yeah.
So I go back and I go, okay, so that just can go because my thing nowadays is that I'm a fairly open and I say what's on my mind, and
Yeah.
sometimes I should have a little bit of a thing, but I don't.
Filter.
So sometimes, so I used to worry about that all the time
Hmm.
because somebody would ask me a question, I'd be honest with them, and
Yeah.
sometimes they did not like the answer, so I would take that on. So I
Hmm.
don't do that anymore. I go, if say I said something to you and you were kind of cool with me next time or whatever, I'd ask you, is there something I said or did? And you go, no. So then I'd let that go because if there's something I said to you, then I've come to the terms that I have to let you come to me and say, you know what you said to me the other day really hurt my feelings.
Yeah. Then it's on me, right?
A lot of ones in there that you can do such a variety of things you can be doing with chakras, with heart space, with all, but there's a particular one that I use that I just pick up and it just like it calms me. There's something about it. But the most
perfect.
part of meditation is done by myself with my brain, with
Yeah.
relaxing. So a lot of it, nighttime is mostly spent in my meditation of giving gratitude for the day that I had because I find it's really important. If I'm not grateful, a whole bunch of crap comes to my life.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, you're not grateful? Okay, let's give you something that you really are going to learn to be grateful about, right? And so
Hmm.
that's what my nighttime one is about, and also about checking in with my body,
Yeah.
right? Is
Yeah.
there anything that is inkling? Is there anything that's needing adjustment? And it's really, and I haven't done this my entire life. My meditations have changed
Right.
my entire life. Right now, it's all
Yeah.
about my body because I am older, right? And I am
No.
experiencing an odd pain or two, which really quite annoyed me in the beginning.
Yeah.
But so my meditations, and sometimes during the day, if I just need to take 5 because I'm being really baggy, because
Hmm.
I do have those moments, then I need to go in and see what that feeling is,
Hmm.
right? So I think most of my time is, and I mean this doesn't take my whole day, right?
No, no.
It's just moments. I am addressing um, things that go on with me, and I'm looking facing them, right? What do they say? Whatever you fear comes near, and really you might as well walk into the face of the fire and face it, because life is so much better when you face whatever it is you fear.
I hear you on that one. Yeah. When you just don't face it, it's going to come back anyway.
It'll come back in a different way.
Well, yeah, in your body, right? And then you end up, like you said, with blood pressure issues and, all kinds of issues. So just walk into it, deal with it, and move on.
Yeah.
And you're just so much happier. Yeah. So I'm aware of our time. I know that we need to kind of wrap things up a little bit. Like Angie said, her and I, we could literally talk for hours. And I know you guys don't want to, and we have. So I know you don't want to listen to us go on for hours. So we're going to wrap it up. But I want to give Angie an opportunity here. Last words, Angie. Knowing what you know, what you've been through, especially over this last year, if there's if there's someone watching this video right now who's maybe considering a transition, who's afraid and thinking, what am I going to, like, I remember having a conversation with you where you were like, what am I going to do? I'm so used to being busy all the time. And then I'm just going to be sitting in a chair going, I'm so bored. What am I going to do? I remember that conversation. What would you say to that person if they're considering a transition in their life right now, but they're afraid of not knowing what to do with themselves? What would you say?
So the first thing I did was I wore galena every day.
What is that?
Galena, it's a stone.
Oh, okay.
And it comes actually, a lot of it, the ones I used to carry come from Holbert. You can probably find galena in any store, and it's a little sparkly stone. And I carried that every day when I was first off, and I said I would carry it for 6 months. I think I carried it for 3, because once I came back from Ireland, I was fine. And when I was feeling, because, I'm used to being, well, I'm the super mom, right? And if I sit down and take any time, something might seep in that I might actually have to pay attention to. So I carried that galena, and whenever I was feeling that, I'd pull it out of my pocket and I'd go, oh, you sparkly girl.
Oh, I love it.
Sparkly girls aren't sad. They're happy.
I love it.
I mean, not to say that there wasn't lots of tears, because it's like, oh, who am I? What am I? And so then I started doing, I have a friend who does different kinds of coaching and stuff, and she goes, write your love list. So I started doing that for myself, saying, what is it that you love? And let's expand on it. You've raised children, you've been busy all the time, and what would you really like to do? And I must admit, the first couple of months I couldn't write anything, because I hadn't taken the time to know what I loved to do. I had no idea. Oh, no, it's not a problem. I do what I want to do. Let's just say first.
Yeah.
I still have things that I need to do because it's part of living, and I do them second. Because what happens is when I do the things I love to do first, it gives me energy. And I'm like, yeah. And then looking at the list of things that I have to do, it's not so daunting.
That is fantastic advice. And I'm going to take that advice myself, because I'm in a semi-retirement stage because of some health issues right now. And I'm going to take that advice because I need that advice for me today.
And it could just be any sparkly stone. I just happen to
love it.
I just happen to like.
I like pearls.
Yeah?
Pearls are my sparkly stones.
I like blue.
Brilliant. Well, Angie, thank you so much for joining us today. Always a pleasure. Words of wisdom. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with us today. I want to thank all of our viewers for joining us today. Again, it's just such a pleasure to be able to share my besties with you. Like and share the page. Make sure you subscribe so you can be appraised of all of our wonderful guests. Next week, we're meeting with Heather. Again, a wonderful woman that you are going to want to hear everything she has to say. So tune in next week. Same time, we'll be here Thursdays with another wonderful guest. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Love and light, many blessings. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.